Dodger Stadium is known for the car traffic it produces whenever there's a baseball game, a concert, or a large event. Although this is due to some factors such as the Dodgers having the largest home crowds, it's also due to the Dodger Stadium's excessive reliance on cars to get there. Total area of all the parking lots are larger than a country. Dodger Stadium was designed in the 50s when everyone thought cars were king, but these days it's having major consequences. Introducing Los Angeles Aerial Rapid Transit, nicknamed the Dodger Gondola. With Metro's backing, this is a planned gondola that's supposed to go from Union Station to Dodger Stadium, with a planned stop in Chinatown as well, taking 7 minutes end to end. With the capacity of 5,000 people per hour per direction, this project plans to take 3,000 cars off the road before and after each Dodger game, which Los Angeles Aerial Rapid Transit, which I'll abbreviate to LAART for the rest of this video, says around 20% of fans can use before and after games. Unlike the Dodger Stadium Express, which is only in service during game days, this will run outside of game days with the additional benefit of being above traffic with a pristine view of the LA skyline. Sounds perfect, right? Well, not necessarily. I'll explain why from two perspectives. First, my own, kid who likes transit, and second, the residents of Chinatown, the community in which the gondola flies over. Now let's begin. Now, my problem with the gondola is that it will not solve car traffic around Dodger Stadium as they claim. Now let me explain. So the people over at LAART claim that this will take 3,000 cars off the neighborhood roads, right? Quite a lot. But according to a UCLA study using a simulation of traffic and fan activity, there would only be 4,690 people using the gondola, 2,500 of which were regular users of the Dodger Stadium Express, which means only 2,190 of which are new to using public transit, which would mean the gondola would only take 608 new cars off the road, noting that the average car to Dodger Stadium carries on average 3.6 people, which accounts for a 1% reduction in car traffic. This wouldn't make a dent in the decrease of greenhouse gas emissions, even assuming that everyone would get to the gondola without a car. I also have a problem with the amount of people it can transport per hour, which is 5,000. Not a bad number at all, better than cars, but for a transport to a stadium, I think it fails. Much more than 5,000 people are trying to get to Dodger Stadium in a single hour before the game. You might say, but hey, at least it's transporting people to Dodger Stadium. How can you complain about that? Which, I mean, yeah, it's better than nothing, but I feel like there's much better projects Metro could put their attention to in order to solve the traffic issue, like an upgraded Dodger Stadium Express with dedicated bus lanes the whole way to Dodger Stadium and traffic light priority to buses that runs every day so that it could service the next 50 plan. We'll get to that. Or better yet, finally get the Pink Line concept built, which if you don't know, the Pink Line was a proposed light rail line that went from Vermont Santa Monica to El Monte Metrolink station, with stops at Dodger Stadium, Union Station, and Cal State LA. This would not only service Dodger Stadium, but other communities as well, with about triple the amount of people it could transport per hour, with more trains being able to run before and after games. This would be more effective at convincing people to ditch their cars than any gondola would. There's also the bonus of getting to Dodger Stadium from many more points other than just Union Station. I know I would take the Metrolink to El Monte Station, then just take the Pink Line all the way to the Dodger Stadium. Okay, as I'm editing this, I gotta clarify something. I know a Pink Line already exists in LA, but that's what this concept was called like way back, like when it was like thought up of. That was like way back. Anyways, this Pink Line would also be better at servicing the planned Next 50 project than the gondola. The Next 50 project will turn some parking lot space owned by McCord, the former Dodgers owner and the guy running LAART, into restaurants and retail space like a Dodgers store and a Dodgers cafe. Although this Next 50 plan is a point of contention with the Chinatown Residents, which brings us to the Chinatown residents have many concerns, many similar to the ones I listed, like that it won't solve traffic or reduce carbon emissions at all, and that we need better transit options to Dodger Stadium, like an updated Stadium Express or even a train station there. Although Stop the Gondola, an organization made by the Chinatown residents to, well, stop the gondola, has a lot more concerns that relate to the community itself, like gentrification, use of public land, cost to taxpayers, and the gondola itself. This does not make any sense. I mean, like, it's like an eyesore. The towers, the wires, the gondola. Anyways, use of public land. The Chinatown station will be an LA State Historic Park, where a farmer's market is on Thursday. It doesn't take that much space from the overall area of the park, but it is 90 feet tall and taking up space in a public park. Cost to the taxpayer. Although this is a private project that will be privately funded, private infrastructure usually ends up getting some money from taxpayers one way or another. And probably the most important concern of the residents, gentrification. Frank McCourt is buying property in and around Chinatown and turning it into apartments, which could make the already bad gentrification of Chinatown even worse. Residents are also worried about the next 50 project stores and restaurants that will take away customers from local businesses. Essentially, the residents fear McCourt's gondola, apartments, and the next 50 project are all going to drive gentrification in the area. I'm saying McCourt a lot because the Stop the Gondola organization emphasizes his involvement in the gondola in particular. Now, this could be due to his unpopularity with like most people. I don't know much about him. Apparently among Dodger fans, he was like a really bad owner. But they also mention him a lot because they believe this is all a plan to make him richer, instead of providing the best transit access to Dodger Stadium. That's also a major gripe the residents have with the gondola. They believe they weren't consulted on what best course of action should be for transit access to Dodger Stadium. There was even a whole lawsuit about this, which I'll summarize very quickly. California Endowment, a nonprofit in Chinatown, believed that the gondola should be put out for competitive bidding, and that Metro was acting illegally by not putting it out for competitive bidding. Having competitive bidding would basically mean that people would be able to choose the best course of action for transit to Dodger Stadium other than just the gondola. But the judge ruled that the project falls under Metro's parameters for innovative projects, which means it could then proceed without competitive bidding. So those are the Chinatown residents' main problem with the gondola. Now, to end the video. Now, I think as long as the Dodger Gondola doesn't affect residents that much, it'll be fine. Wouldn't be a solution for transport to Dodger Stadium, but it could still help alongside the Stadium Express. Although I'm concerned about the impact on residents, and I hope they continue their fight to either stop or lessen the negative effects that this gondola could have on their community. And if they do stop the gondola, hopefully we get to see some trains.